This is the story about the time I traveled 4,000 kilometers for 3 pictures, and nothing turned out the way that I planned, and it was fantastic. Iceland's always been my white whale. Iceland is that one trip that I've had booked again and again and again and again, and every single time just slipped through my fingers. When I did destination wedding photography, I had 2 weddings booked in Iceland. The first one, the pandemic hit. They ended up moving in together, realized they didn't get along, and broke up. The second one, again, the pandemic hit. They ended up just getting married at City Hall. Everything was done. I even had a friend of mine, Peter McKinnon, plan a surprise Iceland trip for me. He had flights, he had hotels, he had everything booked, everything was planned. It was supposed to be a surprise. He was going to call me up, invite me out for a coffee. He's like, "Hey Gabriel, we should get out for a coffee." And I'm like, "Yeah, actually, I just spontaneously decided to rent a car and drive across Canada. I'm halfway across the country right now." Now, thankfully, he didn't tell me about his secret plan until I got back, as to not make me internally mortified the entire time. Iceland's that trip that just, it's my pokeroo, my white whale, the one that just keeps on getting put in front of me and then taken away. So a few weeks ago, I was sitting in the coffee shop and there was another potential trip. It looked like it could go through. There was really no reason for it to not go through. And then I get a text message, Iceland's not happening. Sitting in my favorite coffee shop, thinking to myself, you know what? To hell with this. Iceland is happening. I opened up my laptop, I booked my Jeep, I booked my flight, no hotels, no planning, no nothing. And a couple days later, I was on a plane flying to Iceland. My love affair with Iceland really started a few years ago when my friend Ron Clifford told me about the best movie nobody's ever seen, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. It's a story about personal development and finding limits and pushing your limits at a time in my life where that really resonated with what I was going through. And I formed a really special connection with this movie, and a large part of it happens in Iceland. And then, being a YouTuber and having friends that are YouTubers, everywhere I go, every Instagram channel, every YouTube channel, I get friends of mine, they're like, "Oh, Iceland again? I mean, it's beautiful, but God, I've gone so many times, I'm sick of it." Tell me how that feels. I knew I wanted 3 pictures. The glacier flows, black sand beach, and then just a shot of a glacier from top down. I was going for textures. I was going for shots of Iceland that you don't typically see. I wanted to get the standard shots, but I also wanted to shoot them from a unique perspective that I hadn't really seen before. And then there was a couple shots where it's just like, yeah, I've seen this picture a lot, but it's never been my picture. People that go to Paris and take a picture of the Eiffel Tower, yeah, they've seen thousands of pictures of the Eiffel Tower, but it's never been their picture. There's something about looking at the wallpapers on my Mac, on my iPad, on my iPhone, and seeing a picture that moves me that I took. So my plan was to land in Iceland, get my rental Jeep, and just blitz across the south coast. It was still early in the year, so I knew the north coast wouldn't be a good idea. Just gonna stick to the south, the whole distance, and then spend 5 days driving back. And everything went perfectly according to plan for about 3 hours. And then I hit the worst snowstorm I've ever been in. Maybe it wasn't so bad, but we were in a brand new Jeep, that you don't know the capabilities of. You're in a new country where you don't speak the language and you don't know how bad things get, and you're driving down the road and you're just passing accident after accident. After a couple hours of that, I admitted defeat. I had only made it to Hella. I got a hotel and I called it a day. So day one, Iceland's already kicking my butt. And I gotta tell you, like, that took a lot of the wind out of my sails. I was really like, we're gonna blitz this place, we're gonna get all the footage, we're gonna get all the stuff. And I ended up car parked in a small hotel room watching YouTube videos about Iceland. Day two was actually kind of awesome and frustrating. So I hopped in the Jeep, I started driving down. They had cleared the roads, everything was fine. I got 15 minutes down the road and I launched the drone and I realized there wasn't a speck of snow anywhere. That storm was they got over 1.5 meters of snow in one night, destroying the roads, and 15 minutes down the road, they didn't even know it was snowing. So if I kept on going, I would have been okay, but I had no idea that that was the case, so I feel like I made the smart decision. That was the day that things started really lining up. I found some great F-roads. F-roads, you're driving, there's water crossings, like you need a 4x4. They put up signs. If you're in a sedan, stop driving. If you're in a 4x4, be careful. So I'm in the Jeep, I'm smashing water crossings, I'm having a great time, feeling like a badass. I'm in Iceland by myself, in a Jeep, on an F-road, and a bicycle passes me. Now, this guy was pretty epic. I landed the drone, caught up to him, we had a great conversation. But yeah, this guy just rides these F-roads on his bicycle like every week. I think they build people differently in Iceland. So on day one, I found the glacial rivers. I just randomly stumbled across them. I didn't know where to find them. I just took a random left turn, went a couple hours down the road, launched the drone, and boom. And they were more beautiful than I ever imagined. I ended day two by hitting the black sand beach in Vik. I realized that I wasn't going to get as far as I wanted to go in this trip, so I might as well just really explore the area that I'm in. I got all your standard shots that you see of the black sand beach, shooting down the beach, shooting both ways, top down, and I was pretty happy with what I got that day. But I felt like I had gotten a lot of the standard shots and not the exceptional shots. Day three, I started off by going to Glacier Bay. Now, I see work by Benjamin Hardman and the glacier shots that they do, and I visualized in my mind, I want that picture. But what I've realized recently is that the picture that I want is actually a video. So you can get beautiful shots, but the videos are stunning as well. And I got as many pictures as I could of the glacier, but the final shot, the one that when I'm looking at it on my hard drive, I'm like, oh man, I can't believe I got that, was this video flying over the glaciers. So my favorite picture was a video. And I actually found that more and more in this trip as I've been starting to shoot more and more video. I had been flying drones for 6 years before I switched it into video mode. And now that I'm doing more video, and if you haven't tried DaVinci Resolve yet, man, try it. It is so intuitive. It's made doing video so much easier for me that I'm just all about it now. After that, I just explored around. I looked for textures, I looked for unique areas and situations. I tried to get lost and then found again. I met some amazing people. I saw some absolutely stunning views. I went back to the black sand beach And this time, instead of just shooting the waves from the top down, I actually put a 1000 ND filter on my drone and was taking 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-second exposures of these waves crashing against the shore, and was actually able to get some pictures that I feel like I'd never seen before. I was really happy with the variety of shots that I got. At the end of the trip, I had over 1,200 pictures and over 1 terabyte of footage that I just couldn't believe came from my camera. Like I always say, one of the main things I love about photography is, yes, the pictures and videos that I get with it, but also the places that it takes me, the people that I meet along the way, the friendships that it helps me foster, and people that are in photography. You know that you share a common bond with them, that you're all just seeking beauty everywhere you go, and there's something really beautiful about that. So that's my story. 8,000 kilometers flown, 2,300 kilometers driven, zero planning, stuck in snowstorms, tiny hotel rooms, but fulfilling a promise to myself, realizing that if I wait for the perfect time to do a trip, I'll never do the trip. And most of my trips, when I drive across Canada, go to Iceland, a lot of my greatest stories are spontaneous trips. What trip is your white whale? What's the trip that you've always wanted to do but never fully pulled the trigger on doing it? And do you think that you're a little bit more likely to do it after seeing this video? Yeah, things didn't turn out exactly the way that I planned. Yeah, I didn't get to all the places that I wanted to get to. But man, at the end of the day, on the plane, editing those photos on the iPad, and people on the plane next to me going, "Whoa, where did you get that?" I don't know. I just drove the Jeep until I found a place that felt like it was a good place to launch the drone. And this is what I found. So thanks for sharing this story with me. And always, fly safe, have fun, but most importantly, get out there and launch your damn drone. See you in the next video. Bye.